Hello students, today we are going to study pinnacle formation. There are so many names of this reaction, like what we can call it. We can call it pinnacle coupling reaction, or we can call it pinacolination of ketones. This is a very important reaction from the exam point of view. The reason is there is another reaction, that is pinacolone rearrangement, which is directly related to this reaction. Before understanding what are pinacoles, how they are formed, it will not be a good idea to understand what is pinacolone rearrangement. So first of all, we have to learn what is pinnacle formation or what are pinacoles. Basically, pinnacle is a specific compound. Pinnacle is a specific compound that is you can say 2,2-dimethyl butane 2,3-diol. This compound is known as pinnacle. Ultimately, what we can understand or what we can generalize about this reaction or about this product, this is a 1,2-diol, which can be called as glycol. So either they are glycols, they are 1,2-diols. 1,2-diol means they are alpha beta diols, or the two hydroxyl groups are attached to the neighbor carbons. Or specifically, if we are talking about pinnacle, it is 2,2-dimethyl butane 2,3-diol. So what we can understand about this reaction, what is this reaction? Let's say we are taking an example, generalized example. Suppose there is a ketone, and we react it with magnesium amalgam in benzene. We heat it and then we protonate it with, say, alcohol or water. Then we will get this sort of product. So this product is basically a pinnacle or sort of a member of pinnacle family. How this reaction is taking place, what are the conditions for this reaction, what is the mechanism of this reaction, we will going to study in detail in this lecture. So first of all, what is the use of metal? So first thing that we have to understand in this reaction, let's say we study some key points over here about this reaction. So the first thing is active metals like sodium, magnesium, aluminium or zinc gives free electron in solvated form. What does it mean by a free electron? Free electron, that is, they are very electropositive elements. They are very prone to give free electrons, that is, they are very at edge to release some electrons, but they cannot exist in the free form or in the isolated form. They can exist only in the solvated form. So we have to select a solvent, that is, let's say there is a common thing Suppose we take sodium, it will give sodium cation and 1 electron. And suppose there is a solvent, then this electron will be solvated. Means we are getting a solvated electron. Solvated electrons, that is a electron which is stable, or which is you can say which is surrounded by solvent molecules, so that it is not fusing back into the nucleus, it is not fusing back into the sodium kernel. Now it can be considered as a isolated moiety, it can be considered as a isolated particle, that is we are getting free electrons. Now what is the use of these free electrons? Free electrons, that is they are very much attracted towards any positive species or any positive charge, so here they can act as a nucleophile. That is, these free electrons or these solvated electrons can act as a potential nucleophile. So why we are needing a potential nucleophile in this reaction? Let's say, see, if we take the structure of a ketone, we can represent this in two resonating forms. That is, if the pi bond electrons get shifted towards oxygen, then oxygen will carry negative charge and carbon will carry a positive charge. So if we make a resonance hybrid of ketones, then we are getting, or we will get some this sort of structure. So what I am going to tell you, or what I am going to focus in this reaction, this carbon, that is the carbonyl carbon, this carbon is carbonyl carbon is carrying a partial positive charge. It is carrying a partial positive charge, so it can act as a electrophile. So it can act as a electrophile. That is, in the ketone species, in the ketone molecule, we are having a carbon which can act as a electrophile, and in solvated electrons we are getting electrons which can act as a nucleophile. For any chemical reaction, either we need an acid and a base, or electrophile and a nucleophile. Specifically in organic chemistry, we are looking for two pairs of molecules or two pairs of species which can potentially react with each other, either electrophile and nucleophile, or either acid or base. So here we are getting a electrophile and a nucleophile. Is that clear? Next point, what can happen with this species? Now let's see. If we discuss the mechanism of this reaction, let's say first discuss the mechanism of this reaction. The first point that we have to discuss in mechanism is, suppose we are having a ketone species over here, and there is an electron which is solvated. We are getting these two species in touch to each other with so that they can react. So this electron and this moiety, they have a common thing, like this electron is carrying a negative charge and this carbon is carrying a positive charge. So this electron can attack over this carbon, and thereby this pi bond electron will be shifted towards oxygen. So what we are getting? We are getting this sort of reaction. The single electron will be on carbon, and the lone pair or the electron pair which is coming from the pi bond will be located on the oxygen. So oxygen will carry a negative charge. That is, we are getting a radical anion. We are getting a radical anion. What does it mean by radical anion? Radical is a term which is used for free radical. Free radical, that is the species carrying a single electron, and anion is used for a negative charge. So this species is having both. On the carbon we are getting a single electron, on oxygen we are getting a negative charge. So is this the only structure, or there are some other structures which are possible for this thing? What will be this called? This is a ketyl. This is a ketyl. It is derived from ketone, so it will be known as ketyl. So we can say this radical anion is a ketyl. So let's discuss about the ketyl. If we go for the molecular orbital diagram, of ketone, what is the condition? There are two molecular orbitals, obviously. One is pi and another is pi star. That is, one is bonding molecular orbital and another is anti-bonding molecular orbital. In the initial state, that is before attack of the solvated electron, the two electrons of the pi bond are present in the bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbital is empty. But let's say the electron attacks over this species, so where it will go? It will go into the anti-bonding molecular orbital, because this is, you can say, it is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, that is the LUMO. Okay, so it is the LUMO which is available at the ketone species, and the electron which is coming from the metals which will be that will go into the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So what will be the next structure of ketyl, or you can say the radical anion? This is the pi orbital, this is the pi star orbital. It was already filled, so it will remain as such, but now the next electron will go into the pi star orbital. So we can say in ketyl the pi molecular orbital or the bonding molecular orbital is completely filled and the anti-bonding molecular orbital is half filled. So now, according to the molecular orbital concept, it is not compulsory that this single electron will remain with only carbon. So what we can say? We can say there will be two resonating structures of the ketyl. We can draw it like this. That is, we can make oxygen carrying a radical and carbon carrying a negative charge. So there will be two possible structures for ketyl, and they will be resonating structures because only electrons are moving, particles are or atoms are fixed at their position. Is that clear? So I think we have understood the idea of ketyl. Ketyl is a radical anion, that is, it is having both a free radical or a single electron and a negative ion. Negative ion can be present on oxygen as well as on the carbon. Similarly, single electron can be present on the carbon as well as on the oxygen. Now if we discuss the stability of these two structures, the relative stabilities, obviously negative charge will be better stabilized at the oxygen. So this structure will be more stable than this structure. Means first structure will be more stable than second structure. What does it mean? It means the second structure will be more reactive than first structure. So what we can conclude? We can conclude over here, like suppose this is the first structure, this is the second structure. So if we discuss about the stability, or we can say relative stability, then first will be more stable than second, and if we say relative reactivity, then second will be more reactive than first. Actually these two structures are imaginary, they are not real. Just from the understanding point of view, we are only discussing these two structures to be real, so that we can understand which atom is more attacking. So the conclusion is not that the second structure is more reactive than first structure, because these two are imaginary structures, they don't exist in real. But in this conclusion, what we can say, like carbon having a negative charge is more reactive than oxygen having a negative charge. So ultimately we can write a result over here, like carbon carrying a negative charge is more reactive than oxygen carrying a negative charge. Is that clear? Okay, so let's move to the next point. Now what is happening over here, we are taking solvated electron, but the solvent we are taking is aprotic. The solvent we are taking, solvent must be aprotic. Aprotic, that is which is incapable of donating hydrogen ion, or you can say H plus ion. Means the solvents which are incapable of donating H plus ions are known as aprotic solvents. So generally hydrocarbons are aprotic. Hydrocarbons are aprotic. So generally we take two things, either we take ether or we take benzene. First thing must be clear to you, either we take ether or we take benzene as a aprotic solvent. Why we are requiring a aprotic solvent? What will happen if we take a protic solvent? Let's say, what will happen if we take a protic solvent? Suppose you are having a ketone and there are electrons which are solvated. It will attack over here, this electron will go here, so you are getting a ketyl. Okay, you are getting a ketyl. If at this position you are having a protic solvent, then what will happen? So these two are the resonating structures of ketyl, and now you are taking a, or you are having a protic solvent, that is which can donate H plus. So I am denoting H plus as a protic solvent. So I have told you, like carbon bearing negative charge is more reactive than oxygen bearing a negative charge. So first attack will be from the carbon side. So carbon side will attack on this H plus. What will you get? You will get this sort of radical. Obviously there are so many other solvated electrons. So again this electron will attack over this oxygen, because oxygen is electronegative. It will have a tendency to accept electron rather than donating electron. So now you will get an anion in which oxygen will be negatively charged. Again the protic solvent will attack over this, and you will have a alcohol as a product. So if in this reaction we are having a protic solvent, then the product will not be pinacol, means dimerization or coupling will not take place. It will be simple reduction which is taking place, and we are getting alcohol as a product. And this is a famous reaction. This is actually it is Bovie-Blanc reduction, or that is BB reduction. Means if in this reaction or in this condition we are taking a protic solvent, then coupling will not take place, rather we will get a reduction reaction, that is Bovie-Blanc reduction. Is that clear? Now let's move on the next step of the pinacol formation or pinacol coupling. We have approached till now that we are getting a ketyl. We are getting a ketyl like this. The better representation or a more suitable representation of ketyl will be like that. There is obviously some metal kernels, that is what is left at the metal side when we remove 1 or 2 or 3 electrons from the valency shell of the metal, that is the kernel, or you can say a positive cation of metal will be remain there. So this species will be actually exist as a ion pair. This species will exist as a ion pair, that is ketyl will exist as a ion pair along with a metal ion. Metal can be, it can be sodium, it can be magnesium, it can be aluminium, or it can be zinc, whatever. Generally in this reaction magnesium is quite suitable. Why magnesium is quite suitable? Let's say magnesium is a bivalent cation, so obviously it will be able to hold two ketyl species together like this. Like this. So what magnesium is doing? Magnesium is doing a very important thing. Very important thing. It is joining two repelling species together. See, both are anions. So according to the principle of electrostatics, these two should or must repel each other very strongly. They should not come close to each other. But we are having a magnesium divalent cation which can hold these two species together. So what magnesium is doing? Actually it is holding. The better word will be holding. It is holding two repelling species or two anions together. Thereby it is giving a platform for this reaction. What sort of platforms? See, there are two free electrons which are in close proximity to each other. So there are chances like these two electrons can make a bond together. So ultimately what we will get? We will get this sort of thing after these two free radicals combine together to make a bond. Like this is coming here, this is coming here, and these two free radicals or these two unpaired electrons are coming together to make a sigma bond. So this is the new sigma bond which is formed. So give focus, give attention to this reaction. This is a carbon carbon sigma bond forming reaction. This is a carbon carbon sigma bond forming reaction, and these sort of reactions are very important in organic chemistry because we often require, there is formation of carbon carbon sigma bond or pi bond or multiple bond in organic synthesis. So this is a very important reaction from the synthesis point of view also. This is a very important reaction for organic synthesis. Okay, is that clear? So till now we are getting a species in which magnesium is attached, but we are almost getting up to the pinnacle level. So what will happen next? Now in second step of this reaction, like you give sufficient time for the first step so that you make sure like all the ketyl has been converted into the dimer. This is the dimer form, this is the dimeric form. Now you add ROH, that is any alcohol or water in this reaction in the second step. So you will get what you will get, these species will provide H plus. So these lone pair of oxygen will attack to this H plus. So initially this sort of thing will be formed. Now to release this positive charge, obviously this bond will break and the electron will come to this side. So what will happen? This magnesium will acquire a +1 charge. Similar thing will occur to this side. So you can assume a repetition of the same step. And you will get a product, that is pinacol. Means the kind of reaction we were thinking of, the kind of product we will be wanting to prepare with this reaction is now available, or we have prepared pinacolon using a ketone. So what is the outcome of this reaction? We are using a ketone and we are making a glycol. So this is basically a reaction to convert ketone into a glycol. Is that clear to you? Now we have understood the mechanism, but in very steps, in so many steps, in discrete way. Now we take sincerely mechanism into one page so that you can learn how this reaction is taking place. Okay, so let's try the mechanism in one step or in one page. We are having a ketone. We are reacting with magnesium amalgam just to slow down the reaction so that there is no any violent reaction. In benzene with mild heating, what will happen? It will release electrons. These electrons will attack on this carbon and bond will go there. So initially you can say we are getting a ketyl having a negative charge and a lone pair. So we are getting a ketyl. Now this ketyl will be coordinated with magnesium. Is that clear? So now these two unpaired electrons will come together and you will get a dimeric form. Now you will apply a protic solvent, let's say ROH or H2O. So hydrolysis will take place here. And you will be getting your product. So this is the first step. And this is the step second. So this reaction is taking place in two steps. In step 1, we are reacting ketone with an active metal in a solvated form to get a ketyl, or you can say a radical anion. Now we are reacting this radical anion with a protic solvent in second step in another beaker so that we get a pinacol, or you can say glycol. It can be pinacol or it can be a glycol. If R equals to CH3, then obviously it will be a pinacol. otherwise it will be simply a glycol. Is that clear? I hope you got this reaction, you understood this reaction. Now if we take some problems of this reaction, first let's say you are having a acetone, and in second step you are having water or ethanol. So what you will get? So just write simple mechanism. There will be free electron, it will go here, it will go up, so you will be getting a ketyl. Now it will dimerize, in this way. Now you will add H plus, and you are getting pinacol. The exact outcome of the reaction, if you use acetone, then product will be pinacol, in which all the R groups are identical and they are methyl. What will happen if you take butanone? So now I am writing directly the product. It is not very tough. This sort of product you will get. You can see one side there is methyl, another side there is ethyl. One side there is methyl, another side there is ethyl. So you can check. There is methyl and ethyl, methyl and ethyl, and there are two OH group. So this will be the product. Now this product have a special thing to discuss. Now you can see this carbon is a chiral carbon, and this carbon is also a chiral carbon. So we are getting two chiral carbons over here. So how many products we will assume to have in this reaction? There are two carbonyl compounds, there are two chiral carbons, and the molecule is identical. Molecule is identical, that is molecule is symmetrical. So molecule is symmetrical. So we will get total optical isomers 3, in which optically active will be 2, and there will be a meso compound 1. These two optically active compound will exist as racemic mixture, or there may be a slight excess of antiform. I will tell you why. First let's discuss the three forms of this reaction. I am drawing Fischer projection so that I can easily make them. One product can be like this. So you can see there will be a mirror plane, or what we call POS, that is plane of symmetry. So it will be a meso compound despite having two chiral centers. Okay. Another form can be this way. Again these two are chiral centers, but now there is no mirror plane, so it will exist in mirror image also. This way. So these two forms will be optically active and this will be optically inactive, because in meso compound there is internal compensation, so there will be optically inactive. And if these two forms, that is two optically active forms, are formed in equal amounts, then this will also be optically inactive. It will be present as a racemic mixture. So again the whole mixture will become optically inactive, but having optically active components. The mixture will be optically inactive, but it will be having some optically active components. Are you getting my point? So there are three forms which are shown here, and you can easily assume that meso form, if we make a mirror image of this will be same to this image, this will be same to this molecule. So it will won't be the fourth molecule. Like you can ask, like why I am not drawing the mirror image of the meso form, but the mirror image of meso form will be identical to this form. You can draw and you can check it. Okay. So if I want to make a rule, I want to make a simple rule, or you can say a important result. If in a ketone, like let's say I draw a ketone like this, that is R1 C double bond O and R2. So if R1 is equal to R2, that is both the alkyl groups are same, then you will get only one product, and that will be optically inactive. That will be optically inactive because there won't be any chiral center. There is no chiral center. There is no chirality in the molecule. But if R1 is not equal to R2, means both the alkyl groups are different, then you will get three products. Then you will get three products, out of which two are optically active, and one will be optically inactive, that is meso form. So this is the stereochemical concept of this reaction. So stereochemically there won't be any tougher question than this. Either there will be identical groups or there will be two different groups. So you can easily assume what would be your answer. Okay, let's say another example. Like suppose this is your ketone, that is cyclobutanone, and you react with the same reagent, that is magnesium amalgam, in benzene it with mild heating, and in second step a protic solvent, then what will you get? There will be joining from the carbon part and there will be two OH group. So this sort of product you will get. Similarly, we can draw some more. The reaction can be intramolecular also. Intramolecular, that is both the groups are in the same compound. Let's say, then what will you get? Number these carbons. Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Imagine what will happen. Magnesium will release electrons, or any active metal will release electrons, and they will go to these 2 carbons which are actually aldehyde groups. Okay, so there will be formation of this sort of ketyl will be formed, and now these 2 carbons can join with each other, because there is possibility of formation of a 6-membered ring, which is a very stable system. 6-membered rings are quite stable, so there is chances, there is possibility of these 2 points to be joined together. It will also be favorable for this reaction, because there will be decrease in the entropy, there will be decrease in the entropy of the reaction. So what will be the product of this reaction? I have told you, you can number the carbons to help in such problems, to get help in such problems. Like if these 2 carbons will be attached, so there will be formation of a 6-membered ring. So this will be first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, and you are getting like first carbon is bearing a OH group and 6th carbon is bearing a OH group. So this will be your product. There can be some other examples, like what will be the product of this reaction. So let's say what will happen first, there will be electrons, they will attack on these 2 carbons, these 2 carbonyl carbons, generating this sort of ketyl, means both the free radicals or unpaired electrons will be at the neighbor position, so they will try to make a bond over here, like this, and when you protonate this reaction, protonate this reactant, you will get this molecule. So if you view clearly, it is a kind of enol. It is a kind of enol, that is a vinylic carbon is bearing OH group, which is unstable, because it will readily give keto-enol tautomerization, that is there will be tautomerization. So any one of the OH group, because this molecule is symmetrical, any one of the OH group will be converted into ketonic group. H will come to there and bond will go there. There is a separate mechanism for tautomering, you can easily check that, and it will take place here also. Why? Because you are taking a protic solvent which is capable of donating H plus ion, and tautomerization can take place either in a acidic medium or in basic medium. So because of the presence of H plus, the medium will be slightly acidic, so you will be getting tautomerization over here, and your product will be this sort of product, which in which there is ketonic group or there is carbonyl group, side by side there is hydroxyl group, means alpha hydroxyl keto compounds, they are known as acyloins. So we will be teaching, we will be having a lecture separately on acyloin condensation or acyloin formation or acyloin coupling, whatever you call this reaction. So this is a very important reaction. It is having a extra concept of tautomerization before reaching to the final product. So I hope you learnt this beautiful reaction of pinacol formation. In next lecture we will be getting pinacolone rearrangement, in which this pinacol will be acting as a initial reactant. So the product of pinacol formation will be the reactant of pinacolone rearrangement. Thank you.